I can see we have a full house. Maybe you don't see, but I see angels sitting everywhere. Okay, so you're welcome to the family forum, the first one for this year. I believe we are going to be blessed. Today we are talking about how to transition our children into adulthood. And I hope the youth, the teenagers here will be able to learn one or two things and contribute as well. If you have any questions that you do not want to ask by raising up your hands, you can just write on a piece of paper and send to me. I'll be able to read out the question, especially for children. Or no, let everyone stay. Okay, Rocking Sleep. Let everybody stay.
Okay, no, the youth.
Okay. So I'll start by saying this. My 6-year-old daughter, she came up to me one day and she said, "Daddy, how do women get pregnant?" And I said, "Lord, help me." And then I said, "What do you think? How do you think women get pregnant?" And she said, "I think when they eat flowers, they get pregnant." And I said, "God bless you, you are very smart." So she went away, and then she comes back 2 years after. She's 8 years old. And she says, "Daddy, how exactly do women get pregnant?" And I said, "Lord, have mercy again." I said, "What do you think?" He says, "I know for sure it's not by eating flowers. So you tell me exactly how they get pregnant." And I said, "Okay, if anybody is going to get pregnant, it's not me. Go and ask the person that should get pregnant in the house." He said, "Doctor, you are the tallest person in the house, you should know." And I said, "Okay. Sit down." I said, "You are not old enough. When you are old enough, I'll tell you how women get pregnant." What's the bottom line of the story? Our children know more than we think. All children know more than you think. If you think she probably knows, but she wants to hear it from daddy. You know, she wants that confirmation. And if you find out, you might find out that when they are talking to themselves, they might be talking about these things. But when they are talking to their parents, they expect more of it from their parents. So what we are talking about today is the interaction between parents and children, how you carry your children along in life to expose them to the things of life. So I'm going to ask if there's any bold person here to kick off the subject. How in the past were you able to, for adults here, for example, how did it work with you and your parents? And whatever it is, however formula you use, are you using it on your children today? How did you tell your parents that you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend? What was the outcome? And the relationship you had with your parents, is it working with your children today? So if you have a contribution regarding that, please, you can give it to us. I'll give you a very quick example. Anybody has something? When I was out of class, I think I was maybe 17 years old. I used to do a lot of lessons, after school lessons. Sometimes I go on Saturday. So my parents said, "Okay, we'll give you a car because of lesson." So I started driving to the lessons. Then one day, my mom calls me and says, "Someone told me that there was a lady sitting beside you. They saw a lady sitting beside you on the road." I said, "Lady? Me?" I said, "No." I said, "For your information, I don't like ladies, I like men." I was teasing her. I don't know if it was through the door, or through the window, or through the roof. I know I left that place because there was a tornado that was coming towards me. But at the end of the day, we sat down and we discussed. And from then onwards, we were able to talk, like mother and son. That's my experience. You have something to tell us? Sure.
Praise the Lord. Thank God for this kind of program this year again. And I think it's a program that actually helps homes in a great deal, especially our children that are actually growing up. Let me start from my own experience. I grew up as the only son, that actually grew up with my parents during my own youthful time. I am the third born of the family, but I'm the first son. But my first two siblings that were my sisters did not grow up with my parents. So I grew up with them. But my father developed so much love in me, as the first son, and as the heir of the family. He could not even play with me. I will play with, he could not even take anything so kindly. If anybody wants to do anything wrong to me, he would not even like anybody to beat me at all. So I had that freedom to do whatever I like. But to the glory of God, I had that fear of God in me, and because my parents were, as well, religious, and as I was growing up, I was growing up among my peers, that were doing a lot of things. That time we were born into CNS church. So one day I went to the church. I was a member of the choir. We were practicing that day, a song in preparation for the harvest. Something happened along the line. These people in the church, they believe that who is in the church, the children of the big men, they should be respected and they have special treatment. But something happened. That guy just beat the drum, and the choir staff said, "Tosin, you are the one that." I said, "I was not the one." He just threw something at me. That day, I took my decision that this church I'm not going again. And we were born into that church. When I got home, I told my father, this thing happened in the church, and I'm not going to that church again. My father said, "Why? Why are you not going?" I said, "That is not my decision." But these people, they thought, as I was leaving the church, I would go haywire, I would start, but to the glory of God. Because of me, my father changed his own decision and came to my church when he saw what I turned to be. Be that as it may. When I got married, then started to have my own children, I built special interest in my children, especially female children. Because my first three children, they were female. When they started to grow, what I started to do is that the moment I see that they have gotten to the level of menstruating, I developed so much interest in that area, which some male people, or let's make some men, believe it's not their concern. And the moment you are able to develop that love in your children, have interest in them, and my children, they so much develop that love to the extent that anytime they stand for their period, they say, "Daddy, I need money for pad. I need money for pad." That will even tell you that you can even monitor. You can monitor their menstrual cycle. You can monitor their life. You can monitor their life. But some parents, they believe that it's a shame or it's not my concern. I want to tell you that by the time you go to that extent calling your children that, how are you today? How is your period? How painful it is. You know, that love, they need it. They need it. On a serious note. And at that time, my children, they developed that love to the extent that if they come across any man, they say, Daddy, one man called me today, and this is the discussion. I am telling you, I'm in the church up till now. They will call me. They will say, Daddy, something happened today. I want to gist today. They always call me gist partner. The daddy is our gist partner. And we have a family forum, and a family group, WhatsApp group. Every member of my family, they are member of that group. If there is anything new in the family, we put it in the group. If I'm having any suggestion that I want every family to know, I put it in the group. I create conference, meeting on the WhatsApp. So there is nothing new that is going on in Nigeria that I will not know. And if anything happens, I will tell them. Why don't you put it on the family group? I think we need all these things, especially our young ones to know. So we imbibe them, the Spirit of God in them, the fear of God in them, so that they will know that all these things that they are doing is not good. Another thing is that anything you know that you don't want your children to know, don't do it. Like we have said, they know better than we do. They know better than we do. If there's anything you think you are covering yourself from them, they will tell you, they will show you a picture one day. So we need it. So, and I pray as we are trying to do this, God will assist and God will be with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other contribution? Message.
Praise the Lord. Let me jump to the wisdom by saying this. When I was growing up, I was with my mom anyway. My mom was a medical practitioner, so we have a friendly family who used to visit us. And in that friendly family, there were many of them are girls anyway. And then we go to the same school, and one of them was a little bit more attached to me. So we were growing up together, and there is the tendency. They say, I said we want to marry this girl. It's what they say. But I realized one thing. In that particular girl's life, she used to fall sick. Most of the time, she used to fall sick. So I asked my mom one day, what is wrong with this girl? Say, okay, she has a sickle cell, has a problem. So I say, So I asked my mom, okay, if I marry this girl, is it good? So she looked at me. I'm maybe 7 or 8, I think. Just imagine. So my mom said, okay, marrying somebody who has a sickle cell who is not bad, but you face a lot of challenges. I say, hey, like what? Say, as you used to see, your children also develop the same symptom or will develop the same thing, and all your money will also be driven away, draining to hospital. I say, hey, really, frankly talking, there is like some feeling inside of me by then. I say, okay, so what about if we pray? I ask her, say, okay, if you pray, God can, by His power, reverse everything. I say, okay. So we were growing up. So from the time my mom told me that, something has been detached a little bit from my heart concerning that girl. the way that she explained it to me, it was so simple. Let me give you a different example. I woke up one day, I don't know whether 6 or 7 again, and I used to realize that my John Thomas will also wake up. And I asked my mom, what is wrong? I woke up and I will see the John Thomas also doing his own. And my mom told me, when you woke up, didn't you stretch? Didn't you yawn? I said, yes. I used to stretch. I said, hey, it's also stretching. So, I think, in that way, I'm giving you a little bit how the relationship with my mom went. So, in a simple way, bringing everything home to my level has helped me a lot in passing through my infancy, even my teenage. It has helped me a lot. Even when I got to 13 or 14, I left Togo and I was alone in Ghana. I was all alone. Nobody was there to monitor me. Nobody, but all the time good reports were coming home because I've been trained and brought up in that way, in godly way. So, thank you.
Your parents are they're real Africans?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Africans.
Good. Because if you tell an African woman at 7 years old, you're telling her that you want to marry somebody, if you don't get a slap, then you should be thanking God. Okay, you have something to do. Okay.
That's what the coach would say. That's to share my little experience. But my background, well, I'm from a Muslim place. And my father have to be strict, very strict Muslim to the core. So then I had 16 years then. I saw a lady then, I was secondary student, called Shade. And I heard her, look at that lady. I like to my two brothers, that time. I like that lady. And I mean that girl. My brain kept calling. Go out and push her. I didn't want to how to push. He said, he doesn't know to her. But let me write letter and give to her. So, and I wrote a letter. Okay. I wrote a letter. Unfortunately, I was able to deliver the letter to her that very day. And I slept. The letter was happened to be, it was like, my father woke me up. I didn't know, only God knows how my father got to know. That I had it, he saw the letter. He got, you are writing letter to him there. So you started, I'm telling you, I was beaten mercilessly. The way I had the mark in my body, I was like, I trapped down then. If my father wanted to beat you, killing people, men, able men, they will carry you and stretch you like this and beat you like, I was beaten like, I don't know, like a chief. I said, I don't know myself, if I write a letter, you think about this, if you miss us doing something, you will kill me. What kind of a man, what kind of a father is this? Why you kill me because of letter? Since then, I had a phobia. I can't approach ladies. And the fear was in me, I cannot, even when I met in school, when I was checking, I don't know, the thing was in me. Even there was a time, because I told my son the story. My son asked me one day, he said, Daddy, if I see someone, if I write a letter, how I will you beat me like a daddy? I don't know. I said, I will never beat you because then, this is a wonder. Don't worry, just tell me. I know how to encourage you.
Okay.
But beating doesn't, at the end of the day, the lady I still approach. I don't know because I can't just speak. That was the, but the only thing I just believe in doing beating someone, maybe that was only understanding. But I didn't see it because then the mark is in my body today. I can never forget. If I could be beating like that, when we were writing letter, I imagine what will happen when go ahead.
Thank you. So I think some of us are just joining. The topic is actually transitioning our children from teenagers to adulthood. So we're talking about how we experience our own parents, relationship we had with our parents, and how we can help our children by improving that relationship we had with our parents to usher them into the world. Okay. So the experience you gave is very, very important, because what you experience with your parents is different from what you are giving to your children. I don't know if the story has ended there, how your father actually eventually, took the news when you said you were getting married or eventually going out with people, but that's a different dimension, okay? So if we have okay.
I think it's your food.
It's mine?
All this thing, come and give me my other life.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Close the volume.
Praise the Lord. I grew up with a mom that's a typical African woman, very strict. So, when it comes to love life and stuff like that, it wasn't a subject for discussion. So even when I started my period, it was I was uncomfortable to walk up to her and say, Mommy, this is the situation. But somehow she discovered, and then she called me. She discussed it with me, but it wasn't even in a relaxed manner. It was more like a threat. Like, if you try this, this is what's going to happen. So that was how I grew up. I grew up with that mentality that, you don't discuss things like that with your parents. And if not until I met Broshola, that was the only man that, I was able to confidently present to my mom that, yes, I'm ready to get married now. I'm confident to come and tell you, yes, I have a man. So, when I had my daughter, as she was growing up, I knew, I have to bring up this discussion now, but how do I start? It was so bad that I'll say, okay, next week will come. I'll say, no, week after. I'll say 2 weeks after. It kept going on and on like that, but I felt, no, it's my responsibility as a parent. Yes, I'm an African, but I shouldn't be that typical African woman. I'm an African mom. So, I had to call her and, I started with, okay, how many boys, because I wanted her to be relaxed, so I started with how many boys do you have in your class? I started with asking about her friends, okay, do your friends, do they have any male friends that they are very close to? And then gradually, I came up to asking her about, anything about if there's a boy she likes, or just to have an idea of what she already knows. And to my surprise, they've already told her everything in school. What I was so scared of telling her. They've already told her about period, about the fact that, when she starts her period, her body is ready to have a baby. So what am I hiding? So what am I trying to say? As we mothers, there's this kind of fear in us that, okay, if I tell this girl, wouldn't she want to go and practice some of those things I tell her? But it's her responsibility. Because I don't want to feel guilty as a mother in the future that, what I was meant to do, I didn't take up the responsibility. So I just want to encourage us, for those people that were raised by African women that are really fearful of discussing things like that with their daughters. If I can do it, then you can do it too. Please, let someone up the courage and take up the responsibility. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. I think my experience is similar to Sister Titi's experience. I grew up from a family that you are free to do whatever you want to do. My parents weren't strict. But at the same time, being the last child of the family, I even have a free hand more than anybody in the house. But thank God for grace. But I just want to say that, we cannot use our experience, the experience we have with our parents, with our children, because children of nowadays, they know more than we do, just like he said. I remember my sister, I have a sister, then I have a brother before me. I was very young, I can't remember, maybe I was still in primary school or GSS 1 thereabout. So I caught my mom and her talking. I think she started her period or whatever, and her clothes was stained. And I was like in a pity mood. Oh, what happened to her? She sat on nail or what? Something. Maybe she's. that's the only thing I could think of, like where the blood is coming. Maybe because if I hit my leg, whatever, blood will be coming out. So when I saw blood was coming there, I was like, oh, sorry, she sat on nail. And my mom was like, okay, don't worry for now. I mean, when you get to that stage, we will tell you what it was all about. So she didn't tell me, like, nobody told me anything about that. And when I started, my mother didn't even know when I started. It was maybe after 2 or 3 years. When one day I was washing my clothes and she saw it, and that was when she called me. She was like, okay, you know what, be careful of men, be careful how you get closer to men and this and that. And of course, like I said, maybe I don't know, maybe to use the word lucky, because that's not even my style. Even men, during my school time, they even fear me. So nobody dare come to me. So I don't have any problem. But, with our children, we have to explain to them. We have to carry them along. And for example, like I have 2 little children. I mean, one in daycare. I say 2 because the other one is still a baby that doesn't know anything. And of course, we taught them how to pray, how to bless their food. This is just a small example. How to bless their food wherever you are, at home, at the daycare, at school, or wherever. But all of a sudden, and this they normally do that. And all of a sudden, I discovered that Daniel, when he wants to eat, he doesn't bless his food. He's just to carry the food and start eating. I was like, seriously? Why are you not blessing your food? Okay, and he will bless this after putting 1 spoon in his mouth. So I started noticing them. And I talked to both of them again. I said, you have to bless your food. If anybody gives you something at home, at the daycare, bless your food. And Deborah came one day. She said, Mom, I didn't bless my food at the daycare because nobody understand what I was saying. I said, you know what? Nobody needs to understand. Okay? You have to do what you have to do. And after like 2 weeks, she came up to me, she said, Mom, you know what? I bless my food at the daycare and I even teach my friend how to say amen. I said, good job. I said, how did you do it? She said, I just do like this. And after I tell them to say amen, and they say amen, and now everybody bless their food. I said, good job. I said, what about you, mister? I said, why did you call me mister in the first place? He said, you know what? It's because I'm shy. I said, no. You don't have to be shy. Okay, let the light of God in you reflect. Let people see the light. Don't be shy of anybody. Don't be intimidated. And again, it will say all of a sudden, oh, mommy, I have to call my friend. Glory. She took the phone and he was calling somebody. Okay, no problem. At the end, who are you talking to? He told me the name. I said, that's a girl's name. And he said, yes. I said, okay, why? Why a girl? Because she's my friend, okay? I know she's your friend. Don't you have boys' friends? I mean, friends that are boys? He said, yes, I have. It's just that, she's just my friend. I said, okay, it's okay. And after that, it would be like, okay, I want to make card for my friends. The first person will be that girl. I said, okay. I said, okay, why her? They said, what? But Mom, I'm not making just 1 card. I'm making a lot for everybody. But you start with her. So, I mean, it's very, like, the point I'm making here is that some of us that were raised in an African way, we cannot use the same method with our children. It's not going to work. We have to carry them along and let them feel free to say their mind, because by so doing, they will know if anything is wrong or if everything is all right. So God bless us.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord.
I want to say that I believe everything go back to the relationship we are able to form with our children. Because I could remember growing up with my parents, and the relationship and the bond is not really there. It's just like you look up, like you see your dad as God, afar from you. It's not like you don't want to say something. There are a lot in your mind to say, but this person is just not there for you to approach him to, even before you go there, you have to practice the word, for you to say the proper word, for you to, that relationship, that bond is not there. That is why I vividly agree with, like, you cannot use the same method in which you're brought up. And the way, what you learn from that is just that the negativity aspect of bringing up your own children. That is what you have learned. But you have just understand that it's not easy for you to bring up your children in this kind of a thing, because it's what you have already experienced that is not good. The kind of mental torture, the kind of anxiety in you, and the kind of moral demoralization you have also experienced in that kind of a thing. So, and now coming to this part of the world, we also know that even presently in Nigeria, the way they do things, presently in other African countries, the way they do things is quite different from the way in North America, even in other European countries. But presently, like yesterday, there was a thing that just happened. I was with someone. I was trying to do the driving practice. So the man was like, "Where do you come from?" I said, "Nigeria." So he said, "Oh, that is Africa." I said, "Yeah." So the man was trying to tell me, "Okay, I think some African are modest than the way people bring up their children here." And I said, "Yeah." So we are engaging this same kind of conversation. So the man said, "You could imagine a woman that just had a kid of like 12 or 10 years. And because these kids, they are noticing some physical changes in them, so the mother will just go and buy them the condom for them, like, be careful, just hold on to this." And he now said, "What do you think the woman is trying to tell the kid?" And I said, "Well, to me, he's telling the kid that you're free to do whatever you, but just protect yourself." But that is not the message for a Christian and a Christian woman or a Christian family. But the only thing I believe is we have to form the bond. Whatever you think you cannot tell your kid, don't be scared of telling them anything. They are telling them already in the school. Because there is assessment in the school. They assess your kid, how they are doing in the school. They assess them, their social, the way they put to interact with people. They assess how the boys are touching the girls, how the girls are touching the boys. What are they doing? Because when I started even working there, I was so surprised, like, in the assessment I could see all these things, because it's part of what you have to assess based on that child. And when you now see that the child is not forming bond with boy, or the boy is not forming bond with girls, you have to report that also. And this is a just secret assessment that you have to do to the management. And you have to call the parent, like, if a boy is not touching your girl, or girl is not touching your boy, you have to sit them down also to advise the parent, like, this is what is happening. And this is not just people. You call the teacher, you call the special professional people that are involved, you call a counselor, you call everybody that are really involved, social worker. So this is not a thing like you are just saying things like that. But it's just that it go more spiritual, and it go more like a kind of the way this environment is structured and the way everything is formed. So pray for your kids a lot and guide them in proper way. This is the proper way God has laid down things that it should be. Like, I love the example that my sister gave before. That's just perfect way of us trying to bring up our kids. Thank you so much.
Praise the Lord. Well, there was a time I went to an uncle's place when I was young, and we were watching TV together with 4 of my cousins. And we were watching a movie when we got to a point where, there was a man and a woman trying to touch themselves. The uncle sent one to go and get shoe. He sent another one to go and bring his key from somewhere. He sent another one somewhere. He sent another one somewhere. He said, "What is happening here?" Everybody disappeared. Then they came back after a while. There was another scene that had the same thing. What I told you to bring, this is the wrong one. Go and bring this one. He said all of them again. Then the 3rd time in the scene, they said, "Daddy, look." This thing, we know it, we watch it without. We know all these things. You are just disturbing us. This thing you want, you don't need this thing. You are telling you to go into the car to go and bring something you are not using. So, subsequently, later on when I left, and I met one of my cousins later, and we were talking. He said, after that day that I saw, that when they watch the thing, everybody sits down, they watch it together, and sometimes when it's getting to graphics, they themselves will just excuse themselves. The father will not even, he just sits there, they leave, and then they come back when they want. So, what am I trying to say? There's an extent to the deepness of the relationship we have with our children. Some people can't discuss graphic situation. You can't discuss what is happening to your partner with your parents. Some can say, oh, my husband is not, is this way in bed, or is that way in bed. We can't discuss with our parents. Because from the onset, we have had this, wall between us that if it's in this kind of scenario, don't let us, let's stay away from it, okay? So, and that is affecting a lot of people up to now. I'm happy that all the stories I've heard, they seem to be like we are adjusting to the new world here. Everybody seems to be raising their children the way a Canadian will raise their children. And we've left that African mentality that, when a child talks about sex and all that, we scold them and we flog them and all that. So I want the youth here, the teenagers, to let us know if you have questions, anything that you feel your parents have done wrongly, have addressed wrongly. Maybe you told them about something and the reaction is not favorable. If you have questions regarding that, you can write the questions out, send to us. I know you don't want to raise your hands because what will happen at home.